And to that point, if you're looking at how sometimes President Trump flip-flops, he was called Taco, then other times, like right now, I'm sure Maduro, you said this in an interview, you don't think Maduro right now is thinking President Trump is too much Taco leaning. Now, I mean, how does the Western Hemisphere view Trump, knowing that sometimes you got one Trump, other times you got another?
It really depends on how much leverage you have, and not just in terms of your power, but the relevance of your power vis-a-vis the United States. It's the relational aspect of that power. So, Modi actually has a fair amount of leverage in his negotiations with Trump because there isn't all that much Trump can do to India, right? India is a part of the Quad. It's useful as a counterbalance to China. It doesn't trade that much with the US. They're growing at almost 8% a year economically. So even if tariffs go through the roof, India doesn't really have that much effect, right? It's not hurting Modi, who's a very popular, very strong leader that keeps winning local elections, right? Where if you're Mexico and you've got a weak economy that's completely reliant on the United States, if Trump tells you to jump, you say how high, and you do that on fentanyl, you do that on border security, you do that on transshipment of Chinese goods through Mexico, you do it on all of these issues. So the relevant point as we think about all of these countries around the world is where are they on the taco versus FAFO, F around and find out scale? Because, Trump thought that Xi Jinping was FAFO. He thought that when he put tariffs on the Chinese would have to capitulate. He was wrong. The Chinese did not call him up. They did not immediately start to negotiate. Instead, they escalated. They punched the United States in the face, and the Americans had to back down. Maduro thought that Trump was bluffing. He thought, I can make this guy do business with me. He was really wrong. And now that he's sitting in a jail cell in Brooklyn, I think he understands that this is not a taco situation. So what you need to understand around the world is where are you on the taco versus FAFO scale? And the Europeans today would like to be much more taco. They're not. And that's why Greenland is a problem for them. That's why technology and AI is a problem for them. The Americans just have much more leverage than the Europeans do. And Trump absolutely can smell weakness. He has that a predatory deal-making capability that if he thinks you don't have the cards, he's going to hit you. Ukraine is much more aligned with the West than Russia is. And yet Trump is using American power against Ukraine much more effectively than against Russia. And it's because Trump wants a ceasefire. He doesn't care how he gets it. And he understands that he has the capacity to force the Russians to capitulate much more easily than he does with Putin. So where is he using his leverage against Ukraine, even though the Russians have been much more challenging for America's national interest than the Ukrainians have?